Jesus has just spent 2 days, 2 additional days, in the region of Samaria at the town of Sychar as a result of his encounter with the woman at the well, and then the subsequent meeting with others, men especially of the community who had come to him, many of whom had come to faith based both on the testimony of the woman as well as on the testimony of Jesus himself and the conversations that he had with them. After these 2 days, he heads for Galilee. That was his original plan when he had left Judea, heading north through Samaria to Galilee. And we pick up now the narrative here, an explanatory comment from John, which indeed has become one of the most difficult and challenging explanations, because in many ways it seems to introduce a bit of a confusing element into the narrative. But we have John saying here, autos, the third person singular, masculine pronoun, himself, gar, Jesus, for Jesus himself, emarturesen. This is from martureo. It means to bear witness or to testify. It's a contract verb. This is the third person singular, aorist active indicative. For Jesus himself bore witness, hoti prophetes, that a prophet in te idia patrida, in takes the dative, adia, of his own, is the idea, it's an adjective here, in his own patrida, patri-land, literally fatherland, timain, honor, uk eke, does not have. The discussion about this verse, of course, is what exactly is intended by the fatherland here. Is he talking about the region he has just left, which is Jerusalem, Judea? It could be. Jesus was, after all, born in Bethlehem, and he might have regarded, in a broad sense, Jerusalem as being his true fatherland, and certainly he had received a rather negative response there. John doesn't give us the story of Jesus going to Nazareth. We find that in the synoptic tradition, in which Jesus went to his hometown of Nazareth and received a rather startling rebuff from them. Luke chapter 4, for example, gives us that account. But John doesn't mention it, and so it's unexpected that this would be exactly what John has in mind, but maybe it was. Based on the narrative given to us, the chronology suggested by John, that still would be probably in the future, so it's possible that that's what's being referred to. One thing in the broader sense I think needs to be borne in mind is that this is really reflecting what we found in chapter 1 of John's Gospel. He came to his own received him not. He's going to get generally a favorable treatment in Galilee, but his hometown of Nazareth, not to mention Jerusalem, had been hostile to him. And so in some sense or other, we're getting an exposure to that particular concept, that idea, that principle that certainly was part of the story connected with Jesus throughout that which we know of his earthly tenure.